Greetings, geeks and nerds, and mighty universe and mighty nerdy, and it's finally time. We finally reached the pinnacle point. We have finally reached the high mark of this year, talking about my top 10 favorite movies of this year list. Now, let me tell you, a lot of these movies I played around with on the list, I would move them up or move them down the list, but my number one movie stayed on this list with every time that I rewatched it. Every time I went back to it, every time I would just keep it at number one because I couldn't move it past the number one spot. And if that doesn't sound amazing to you, that's only because it is. And I will let people know this ahead of time, so people that love animation and whatnot, a lot of these movies, my favorite ones that I've seen this year, are animated. But my number one favorite isn't animated. So, before we get into the meat of the situation, let's talk about the rules of the list as quickly as I can. And if you don't care about the rules of this list, you can feel free to just skip ahead by how much that it is, and then you can just enjoy the list in total. But before we do, I just want to break the list down for any new subscribers that's here that hasn't been here before. So I just want to say welcome to the Lazy Universe Top 10 favorite films of this year, as I do every single year, or going to try to do every single year from now on. So here are the rules for the list. Number one, these are movies that I have to see this year. So whether or not the movie came out, this year, last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever be the case, it still counts to be on this list as long as I've seen it this year. And number two, these are just my opinion for my favorite films, so this doesn't necessarily mean anything to you guys. If you guys don't like any of these movies that's on the list, then that is all your opinion. But for me personally, I really did enjoy these movies a lot more than I'm willing to basically expect and everything. And it's just so damn enjoyable just to watch these films, especially as somebody that just loves movies in total. This is just fun to me, and we all have different opinions. We won't always have the same opinion upon these movies. So please in the comments don't be like, oh, movie insert title here shouldn't be at insert number here because of my own personal opinion. That's cool if you don't like the movie that's on this list, or any of the movies that's on this list, or all of them, it doesn't matter. Whatever be your case. But please don't come and bully me and be like, this movie should never be on the list because it's stupid and ridiculous and I hate it. Prop to you if you hate it, but this is just my list and my opinions. And also finally, number three, this is just for fun. This is just for all the goofy fun and etc. that we can get in with this list. And I always enjoy doing these lists. So please, nobody try to ruin that fun for me and a bunch of other people out there. Otherwise, they'd be like, well, he's no longer going to do a top 10 list anymore. Yeah, I'm hoping that never becomes the case. So with that all said and done, guys, I'm going to run down my top 10 favorite films that I have seen this year. So with that all said and done, please enjoy your future presentation and be sure to tell me what favorite films that you guys had this year. Maybe there were some that you've seen that I haven't seen, and if there's any movies that you'd like me to review that I haven't seen yet, please ask me to do so. But just keep in mind that if I do watch the movie that you want me to review, that if I review the movie that you want me to see, there's going to be a chance that I'm either going to love it like you do, or possibly not like it as much, or downright hate it. So with that all said and done, grab your popcorn buckets and your 3D glasses. Oh, we don't do the other thing. Grab your bucket, grab some snacks, grab your soda, because we're gonna be here for a while, and let's just enjoy. Although by the time that you're watching this, I'm on an all liquid diet, so I can't do any of that stuff. So, with that all said and done, please enjoy the Lazy Universe Top 10 Favorite Films of 2024. Let's get started. Number 10. Iron Man 2 was a surprise to me. I didn't think I'd like this movie as much as I did, but yet it's at the number 10 spot, and it definitely is worthy of that spot. We learn that Tony Stark is actually dying. He's spending his last life because his heart, or the thing that basically powers his heart, is dying out and he can't supply it much longer. He even comes across a killer that basically had worked with his father, a terrorist that does not play by the rules, and he basically had dark technology under his blood. With Tony having to figure out, what am I gonna do? What does this mean? Am I going to enjoy myself, or does this mean that I am going to end up dying? And Robert Downey Jr. gave the best performance that he could ever wish for with this, and especially it comes close to his performance in Spider-Man: Homecoming, but not by much. Though I will recommend Iron Man 2 to anybody that hasn't seen it yet, as it is pretty much a classic film and it's a damn good one within the Marvel Universe library. Number 9. As a big Scooby-Doo fan, I have to admit I was surprised by how damn good that Scoob was. I was not expecting it to be as good as I thought, due to the criticism of it. But I admit, the Easter egg to other Hanna-Barbera properties, all the cameos, the fantastic voice acting, and the animation was superb to me. Though I'll be free to admit that yes, the story is kind of ridiculous and the plot kind of is flawed, but it still was a decent movie. And you can imagine that I was freaking out over a lot of the Easter eggs and cameos to other Hanna-Barbera properties, as it was definitely great to see them all back together. Yes, it's unfortunate that Scoob is a flawed movie. I mean, a lot of these movies, even though they're my favorite, are still flawed, but it still is a damn good movie that is worth checking out. Number 8. I'd be willing to admit at first that Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken did not appeal to me. I did not see any mean to really check this movie out, but then curiosity got the better of me. Ruby Gillman is a teenager that's going through all the teenage things, but she's hiding a big secret that she's actually a Kraken. She's an undersea monster and nobody knows it. That isn't until she finds out, nope, she's not a monster from folklore. She's actually a superhero. She's a protector of the sea, and that is awesome. This film deserves a sequel. It deserves a TV series even. Hell, it deserves anything as long as I can still enjoy these characters again. It was such an enjoyable film from beginning to end, and I am still sitting here while watching this while putting together the top 10, and I am demanding more. Please give me more DreamWorks. Number 7. Yep, I'll be free to admit I didn't like the first movie, but the second one, oh my goodness gracious, was the sequel just amazing. This movie goes, yeah, time travel is a pretty silly concept. So what if we take that concept and just have complete and utter fun and chaos with it? And that is exactly what they do throughout this movie. They just have complete and utter fun with Bill and Ted, sending them to everywhere and every place and time in the universe. This is how you make a Bill and Ted movie, people. This is how you do it. You just have fun with everything, and then you just make fun, go wild, and go crazy with everything that you can. And then you end it off in the greatest way possible. You just go nuts, go wild, and give us a rock concert of epic proportions that we'd always remember. Left hand red. Number 6. When I heard the rumor that Dave Harbour was going to play Santa Claus, believe it or not, I was actually against it. I was like, oh god, no, not the guy from the terrible Hellboy remake. But Dave Harbour became one of my favorite Santa Clauses ever. And that is an achievement that only Mr. Harbour could achieve. He's a Santa Claus who was just trying to do a job, but then he was brought into the worst of situations when a bank heist basically kinda goes wrong. And this is also a holiday movie where the characters are supposed to be likable. Everybody aside from two characters are complete and utter fucking douchebags or assholes to each other. But the movie's redeeming factors is of Trudy and Santa. They are so enjoyable, and I swear to God that Dave Harbour and this little girl have a great relationship together. And their chemistry is nothing short of magical. I enjoy watching the two of these, and I still crack a smile, and I'm cracking a smile now, even watching them relate to each other. So if you want a Slaughterfest to watch for this Christmas, I don't know why you'd want that, but there you go, then this Violent Night is the perfect film for you, and it was one of my favorite films I've seen this year. Number 5. I'll be free to admit it, I do not like fantasy films, never really had a taste for them, but Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves somehow managed to change my mind. This is a movie that takes the concept of a rag band team of characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, give them a common goal with a common threat and a common enemy, and just have them unite. And one of my main fears going into this movie was that they were just going to do CGI effects instead of practical, but I am so happy to admit that it's a combination of both. As I will admit that this movie is not only funny as hell, it is gorgeous looking, and I'm surprised that there is not a sequel to this movie just as of yet, but I'm supportive. So if you're looking for a magical new journey for this season, or if you haven't seen this movie yet, I highly recommend that you do because it is nothing pure of entertainment.
My foot is stuck. Concentrate. What madness is this?
Number 4. I don't think any of us were expecting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 to turn out as good as it did, but James Gunn wanted to go out with a score, and a score he did. In this movie, we finally get the origin of Rocket Raccoon, and let me tell you, it definitely does tear at the heartstrings of what happened to this very likable character. Oh no, you don't think that you know the origin of Rocket Raccoon. This movie went, oh, you like this character? Well, get ready to cry for everything he's been through. And this was definitely an enjoyable movie from beginning to end, and it definitely is at the number 4 spot because of how much I enjoyed it a lot more than I'm actually willing to admit I did. So if you haven't checked out the Marvel spectacle of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, you owe yourself to a terrific movie and a terrific send-off to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 3. Talk about a movie that surprised me a lot. Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one of the films that I did not know I was gonna like as much as I did. But even though I hated the comic book, and the comic book was a ridiculous concept in itself and so was the movie, but I absolutely adored how the movie truly and fully handled these characters. And they really took this concept of the comic book and went, yeah, that concept was pretty goofy, but you know something? We can do goofier. As yes, I did enjoy this movie a lot, and I'm willing to admit that. And if you haven't seen Batman vs. TMNT yet, you owe yourself to a damn good animated movie. Number 2. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a damn good movie and it was worth waiting for. Marvel decided, oh no, you're not ready to see this movie just quite yet. Yeah, see, the thing is, this movie was planned to be a trilogy, and Marvel is still working on and pushing back and announcing and pushing back and announcing and pushing back this trilogy. But what we got is a damn good Spider-Man movie, and Miles really did shine in this movie. And even though, yeah, I still do think this movie is flawed, I simply cannot ignore what this movie is setting up, and so I am so excited for the trilogy whenever it comes complete, but Across the Spider-Verse was awesome.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go.
And my number 1 favorite movie that I have seen this year just so happens to be the honor of when it came to picking my top 10 favorite movies, every time I come back to Blue Beetle, I can't help it. This movie got everything right, and it did definitely deserve the number 1 spot because it got everything of the character of Jaime right, and that's what I was so afraid of. They capture Miles' family and they capture his heart, and definitely the actor behind Jaime, not Miles, is definitely extraordinary in his performance and role as Jaime Reyes. This movie is an absolute masterpiece and it is definitely gorgeous and it did deserve my number 1 spot, and if you want to know why, you need to see this movie. This movie is just too damn good to ignore, so do yourself a favor and don't ignore it any longer. Give yourself in to the Blue Scarab and say Kajida.
Who's first?
And that's gonna do it, everybody. That was the Lazy Universe Top 10 Favorite Films of 2024. Do you agree with my picks and do you agree with my choices? Let me know in the comments down below, as well as let me know what were your favorite films that you've seen this year. I'm always interested to hear. So this is the final top 10 of the year, but next year there'll be plenty more, as there are still more that I'm technically working on and thinking about. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe Universe. I've White Nerdy, keep eking on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can be notified every single time I make an upload, and follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And I'll even pin where you can find my last year top 10 favorite films of the year list if you're interested to see that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe Universe. I've White Nerdy, keep eking on. And thank you for watching this final Lazy Universe top 10. Please enjoy my Christmas content. And until next time, and as always, guys, take care.